Hi everyone, welcome to RPA Explorers
Hope
channel.
everyone are doing good, and in today's video we are going to see another comment which is on my data table introduction, like it's a part 1 of data table connector method. So I have already uploaded 4 to 5 videos on data table, so make sure that you watch it so to get familiar with its method and various use cases as well. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe it, and also make sure you like this video to reach more people as well. Okay, let's get started. So I have received this comment on my part 1 of data table connector, which is not exactly related to that video, but it was something that we can do with the data table connector. So idea is we have to get the table data, which is rows and columns. We have to fetch each rows and put that into a separate application. Okay, so this is what we are going to see in this video. I hope you guys understand the use case. If not, you can also watch that comment as well. Okay, so in order to achieve this, I'm going to use the data table itself rather than an Excel, which could be very easy as you do not have to have the Excel installed on that particular machine, and it's pretty simple as well. So yeah, now let's get started. So now I have added my connector, which is called PDF connector. So once you add it, double click on it. So you have a lot of methods, and also I have almost explained all these methods in a part 1 of PDF video, and also an use case explaining about how you can split, load and merge in a separate video as well. So make sure that you watch all it to get familiar with PDF methods as well. So now as our agenda is to get the table, right? So I have two different the PDF. So the PDF one, which is called table, which just have only one table, and also it's a one page of PDF. And I have second PDF, which is called sample table. So it has more tables, and also it has more than one pages. I'm going to start explaining with a single PDF, I mean with a single table. Either it's a multiple PDF with a single table, or it's just a one page with a single PDF. This is the concept. So after you add it, like in Excel, you use your open method to open your Excel before you use other methods, right? And similarly here you have to use a load method, so which is basically that you are telling the bot that I'm just loading this PDF file, and you have to read this file. So now let's provide the path, and I'm going to copy this path, which is this table PDF, and let's provide it. And in case your file is password protected, make sure that you provide your password either in a string or in a process parameter, or also in a secure string. So it depends. Okay, now we have to get the tables, right? So you have two things. One is get table, which will help you to just get only one table from the PDF, and also you have get all tables, which basically get all the table, and also doesn't have any filters over here. So maybe let's try using this get all tables. I'm going to connect this, so let's run it. It's done. Let's preview the data. Okay, so now so the column 0 something it has printed. Let's go to the Excel, I mean the table, we'll see. So the column 0, which is disability category, participants and so on. So let's cross verify that as well. Yeah, so the column 0 is this one, column 1 is participant, and it's called ballots completed, and everything we have. So this is basically a list. Here you can get the list of each column separately. So like you will be able to see, for example, let me, okay, so in the complete list, it has again a list of data tables. So this is the first list, so which has the first column, basically this column, and the second list has this column, and third has this, and so on. So once you have the list, what you can do is like you can create a dictionary and consider your column 0 as your key, disability category, whatever its value, and similarly you can create your 5 key value pair, and you can add everything by looping through the list. Maybe I'll try to create a separate video like how you can loop through your list and add your key value pair in a separate video as well, but for now this is the basic idea to do it. Okay, and now let's use another method, which is get table, where you have a filter to filter your table data as per your requirement. Okay, now the first filter, which is this extract type or extract by. So here, going to the static, you have index and contains tag. So if you go to the index, you have to provide your index value, so which is basically your index of the table, whether you want to get the first table, second, nth table, or whatever. So the first table you have to give the index as 0. Maybe I'll just quickly give you a demo. So here I'm providing, I want to get my 0th index, so let's close it. Okay, now I get it. As I have just only one table, it is giving me the 0th table perfectly as in a tabular format or in a data table format according to the PDF. So this is good now. If you have n number of table, make sure that you change your index value accordingly. And now let's look at the other extract by, which is contains text. So if you want to get a table which contains participants on the particular table, not just on the header, it could be on anywhere on the table, I mean any rows on the table. So let me take a participants, I mean from the header, and let's provide that value as string. Now let's run it. Okay, so this should give you a table which is the first table. So now we have the participant, this is expected output. And now, so duplicate it, I'll just give some random value. Okay, let me clear it and we'll rerun this now. This should be empty now. So yeah, as expected, this is empty. And now let's also explore the rows value. So I'll take this value. So let's clear this, and this should give us a complete table. So now this is also giving us the exact value. This is good. So this is about the two different extract type, which is your type, I mean your index or your contains text, that we have get the table according to the given requirement. So like looking into the result data table, we can do different things, like you can write it to your Excel using a write to Excel component, or you can use an Excel connector method. Like you can just write it, and after you write it, simply you can do your Excel method to open it, read it, loop it, and you can just use an UAC connector to write to the target application. As I mentioned, in order to use an Excel connector method, you should have an Excel, or you should create a new Excel, write it, and you have to do all that. But now I want to use another alternative, or which is very simple than an Excel, so which is called data table method. So like all the methods one by one, so you will get an idea like what you can do with the data table. So now once, so that you can use any other data table methods. So first I'm just taking a set table. If without setting a data table, I cannot read it. If I want to read anything without setting it, and I have to use something called load from Excel. Basically I have to load an Excel and then I can use another method. But in this scenario, I'm not using my Excel at all or in any external file. Directly I want to just use this data table which I read from the PDF and then write it. So in that case, I'm just setting it, just set on some particular memory. Okay, let's assume that X is a memory, and now this data table will be stored into X. Now after I store it, I want to get the table from the X location, not from the PDF. So in order to get it from X, let's take get table. So this will get the table not from the PDF but from the set table data table method. Okay, if you run it, you will be exactly seeing the same result, but the difference is that it's just storing it in a different location, and it's just giving you from getting that table. So now it has given us the same result as expected. Okay, after we get it, we have to loop through it to read each row. So as we know, for looping through, we'll be using either for each or for loop. And in this case, I do not have any collection. All I have is a data table. So I want to use a for loop. So which requires from, as I want to read from my header. So from first row, and for the two, we can count the total number of rows from the table and map it to that location, right? So for that, use a count, you have this get count method. Every time it loop through each row individually. After that we have to get each rows, right? So let's see rows. So here you have something called get row data, which will give you the list of the first, and in this case rather than getting each row I am directly going to get each cell. For example, I want to get the disability category, the value of this particular thing. It should give me blind, low vision and everything. Okay, now as I want to get each cell, let me use get cell value. This will just give you one cell value, but I want to get all the cell value. Okay, and this will ask me row you want to get. What is the current row? I want to get each row. So first it just help me to get one, and then second row, third row and everything. Okay, now we have given the row. Then what is the index that I want to get? So I want to get the index, like I want to get first row, second, third, and then my fourth, as we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and also we have 5. So let me add 5 here, and I'm not going to change the data type. In case required you can do it. And now I have just added a message box to display each row, and I'm not adding message box for all the column value, but adding it only for the first column, which is this disability category. Okay, let me run this. So let's click on Move Next. Okay, the first value is null. Let me quickly check the data table. Okay, so if you look at the data table, and here we are trying to fetch the value for the column 0, right? And the first index, which is 1, it is empty. If you go to the PDF here, out of 5 columns, here the 5th column is splitted into 2 different sub columns, right? So if you clearly see here, this 5th column which is separated, and this 4 column doesn't have any sub column, so this is empty and it is giving you the exact output. So and it should start giving us a value which is blind, correct? It's a low vision, and it's dexterity, and I think it's mobility. Okay, now it is good. Let me also continue, and now it is also showing me an error that index is out of table range. Okay, now let's see what is the index. Okay, now the index is 6. Okay, index is 6. So this is our first row, and in this case we have one more row which is empty, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. When it is trying to print the 6th table, it is also considering the header. So I'm just explicitly going to omit the header by just transforming a data. I just want to omit it header by -1 the actual value. Okay, let me preview it and explain you. And here if you see that we have sub columns, right? And also here we are starting from index 1, and the total number of rows is 6. So this is first, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, right? And it started giving me the first value, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So basically we just have 5 columns as the total count, which is giving me including the header. I'm just doing this transform data by minusing 1 to ignore my column header, as it is not an Excel connector method where you can enable option to include header or ignore header, right? So I'm explicitly ignoring a header by doing this -1, and now this gave me the perfect output. And let's do this for a different column. Maybe I'll try to print column number 3, and let's see what's the row values. So first is empty, okay, expected, and second is 4. So here let's cross verify. So the values are 4, 3, 1, 0. So let's see, 4, 3, 1, 0. So it's correct, 1 and 0. Okay, this now what I would suggest is like if you know the number of columns in the Excel, make sure that you create, you have a cell value to get all the rows. So in this case I know that my table has 4 different rows and 5 different columns with sub column. So what I did was I have just added my all the 5 columns over here, and you can create a global variable. Let's say that I want to create column 0, column 1, 2, 3 and 4. So once you create a global variable, you can have an UAC connector for the target application. Let's say I type in my column 0, column 1, 2, 3 and 4. So make sure that you use an UAC connector to capture each field, and when you use a set method, like if you have used an UAC connector, you will be knowing that you have this method. So let's use an application connector wherein I have 3 different drop downs. So if you double click on it, here you have something called send keys. Imagine this to be a text field. Okay, so here you should have 2 methods, send keys, wherein you have to map that global column variable 0, and that will give you the exact value which you get from the table. Okay, and also you have another method which is called a set text. As this is a drop down, I do not have that method, but for an input field you have another method which is called set text, and similarly you have to pass that global variable as an input to the set text, which will write to the target application. So here you need to have 3 different connectors: data table, universal application and PDF. PDF is to capture it, data table is to get each cell value, and UAC is to write to the target application. This use case should be approached. Make sure you guys give it a try and let me know, as I do not have any direct example or application to show you guys a demo, but what I have explained is the way or an method to approach it. So give it a try, and in case you guys have any doubt or anything, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And in this video I have just covered a single table. Next video I'll be showing how you can treat or use when the PDF have multiple tables in it. It is pretty simple, but I will be using a different index and everything to show it. In case you guys like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and also like this particular video to reach more people. Thank you so much for watching this video till then.